This isn't just about building a better computer chip, it's about solving a fundamental power crisis. The massive data centers training today's AI are becoming unsustainable, with some requiring their own dedicated power plants. These facilities consume staggering amounts of electricity, contributing to a growing environmental footprint and raising questions about the long-term viability of current AI development trajectories. The solution might be to stop building computers like calculators and start building them like brains. The reason is simple: efficiency. The human brain is the most efficient computer we know of. That's about 5 orders of magnitude more energy efficient than a conventional digital computer. To put that in perspective, a typical supercomputer can consume megawatts of power, while the brain operates on the energy equivalent of a dim light bulb. Mark Hersam, who led the Northwestern study, says that to handle the future of AI, we need to look to the brain for inspiration. This isn't a new idea, but bridging the gap between rigid silicon and soft living tissue has been the major roadblock. Conventional computers get complex by packing billions of identical, rigid transistors onto a flat chip. The brain is the opposite. It's a soft, three-dimensional network of diverse, specialized neurons that constantly change and adapt. To mimic that, the Northwestern team developed electronic inks made from nanoscale flakes of molybdenum, disulfide, and graphene. These materials were chosen for their electrical properties. Using a technique called aerosol jet printing, they deposit these inks onto a flexible polymer substrate, creating a device that's physically more like brain tissue. But the real breakthrough came from turning a bug into a feature. In the past, the polymer used to stabilize the ink was seen as an imperfection that interfered with the electrical current, so researchers would burn it away. Hersam's team decided to only partially decompose it. When they pass a current through the device, it causes further, uneven decomposition of that polymer, which leads to formation of a conductive path. This constriction forces a sudden, neuron-like electrical response called a snapback negative differential resistance. It's this carefully controlled flaw that allows the artificial neuron to generate complex signals like single spikes, continuous firing, and bursting patterns, just like a real one. This ability to produce diverse and dynamic electrical patterns is essential for communicating with biological neurons. That range of signals is what lets it talk to real neurons. That realistic signaling is something previous attempts failed to achieve at the right speed. Previous artificial neurons built with soft, organic materials spiked too slowly to mimic the brain, operating on timescales that were too sluggish for real-time neural communication. Those built with hard metal oxides were too fast, producing signals that were too abrupt and unnatural for biological systems to interpret. The Northwestern device operates in a temporal range that hits the sweet spot, a speed that had not been demonstrated before in an artificial neuron. To prove it, they put the device to the ultimate test, seeing if it could actually talk to a living brain. The team applied the electrical signals from their artificial neuron to slices of mouse brain tissue. They found the artificial voltage spikes not only matched the timing and duration of spikes from living neurons, but they reliably triggered activity in the real cells. The biological neurons responded to the artificial signals as if they came from another neuron, matching the real thing at the cellular level. This direct and effective communication is what matters for you, opening doors to practical applications. A neuron that can talk to a brain is one thing. What it's used for next is where this gets real. This breakthrough points in 2 critical directions. The first is a path toward more advanced brain-computer interfaces. Because these devices are flexible, biocompatible, and speak the brain's language, they could lead to better neuroprosthetics for restoring hearing, vision, or movement, offering a more natural and intuitive connection than current technologies. The second is that energy problem. By mimicking the brain's efficiency, neuromorphic computers built from these devices could handle the demands of AI using a fraction of the power that current data centers consume. But even with this success, there is still one major hurdle to clear before these devices can be integrated into a full circuit. This work brings brain-like computing from abstract theory to a printable, testable reality, closing the gap between machine and mind. Stay patched.